Hello everyone, it's Crystal from Beautifully Broken Crafts Hauls and More, and I have some Halloween DIYs for you guys. So the first DIY is going to be these two ceramic pumpkins I had picked up from the Dollar Tree. I painted one in the Waverly ink chalk paint, and I used the Waverly moss chalk paint for the leaves and stem, and then the other pumpkin is going to be done in the white Waverly chalk paint with the moss Waverly chalk paint on the leaves and stem as well. And then I will use the white Waverly chalk paint and a Dollar Tree dauber sponge to make polka dots on the black pumpkin. So that one will have white polka dots, and then I'll use the ink color on the white pumpkin for it to have black polka dots. And there they are completed. There's the white one, and there's the black one. DIY number 2, I am taking this pumpkin sign from Dollar Tree. I think it's from last year's collection, though, that says Hello Fall. I'm going to use my box cutter to tear off that burlap piece and then sand off all that glitter that was under it. And I will paint the stand of this with the Waverly ink chalk paint. And then I am going to cover the pumpkin portion where the glitter was at that I sand off with a piece of the lime green and black polka dot fabric that my girl Mari from Restored Creations had sent me, and I will just Mod Podge it down to this pumpkin. And then I will take one of the word Halloween cutouts from Dollar Tree that says boo. I painted that in the white Waverly chalk paint and then use the ink chalk paint to highlight the edges of it. And then I will use 2 wooden cubes also from the Dollar Tree glued to the back of the word boo, and then glue that onto the front of this pumpkin to give it a 3D effect. I also will use a small piece of ribbon I had from Dollar General for $1, and it's all black with looks like eyes are peering at you, to make a small bow to glue to the stem of this pumpkin. I also use scissors, my box cutter, and sandpaper to trim the sides of the fabric off of this pumpkin once the Mod Podge has dried, so that way it took the form of that pumpkin. And there it is completed. Oh, I did add a bat to the middle of that bow that I didn't video. DIY number 3, I am taking these 2 snow globes from the Dollar Tree. Now, what I didn't record is that I took the bases out because they were originally white, and I took them outside and spray painted them twice with a matte black Rust-Oleum spray paint. And then I'm going to fill the snow globe part of this with this spiderweb cotton I had gotten from Walmart. And I just intertwine some of the spider's rings from Dollar Tree into that, and then I will stuff a strand of fairy lights in this globe as well, and drill a hole in the two bases of the globe. That way you can feed it through the bottom of the globe, and you'll still be able to close, close the globe, and then it'll light up. And then I do the same thing with another snow globe, but in the other snow globe I glued 3 different skulls I had on hand from Dollar Tree and some reindeer moss. And also I put in a strand of the fairy lights the same way by drilling holes in the base of it. And the base I had on that second one you guys are going to see next is also spray painted with that black Rust-Oleum matte black chalk paint. Oh, and also on the base of this one that you guys are seeing getting made right now, I do take a strand of that black ribbon from Dollar General with the white eyes and glue it to the bottom of it just for a little extra something. Sorry for the beeping in the background. I just used green moss in between the skulls as well, just to make it look like they had been there for a long time and were getting all mossy. And as you see, I wrapped some of those fairy lights around the skulls themselves and then just stuffed the rest up into the top of the globe. And there I am with the ribbon, gluing it around the base of that globe as well. And there's the spider one completed on a candle stick I have on my mantle, and there's the one with the skulls on a different candlestick on my mantle. On to DIY number 4, I take this ceramic sugar skull I had from the Dollar Tree, and I used my paint markers I have on hand to paint this one. So I painted all the flowers, this pink metallic pink color. I did the center of the flowers, I want to say gold metallic, and I did all the little script viney pieces in black. And I also use that black to color in the hollows of the eyes and the nose as well. And then you will see me go back with some gold. I will go around the eyes because it has like a flower print around the eyes with the gold. I do color one tooth gold and a couple pieces on the chin of this skull gold as well. And then once it's all completed with the paint markers, I will take a red rose off one of the Halloween picks that's got black glitter on the end of it and stuff it and hot glue it into one of the hollows of the eye. And I also glued a black leaf to the top of this skull as well. I did have to take a couple layers of this flower off just because it was like too poofy to fit into that eye socket. And there it is on my bathroom shelf. DIY number 5, I had 2 glow-in-the-dark skeletons from the Dollar Tree that I had taken outside and spray painted them both with that matte black Rust-Oleum spray paint I had. I think I did 2 or 3 coats on both of them. I glue this guy and the other one I do down to a wooden stand I had on hand from the Goodwill. And I had popped off his skeleton head and replaced it with a glitter styrofoam pumpkin from the Dollar Tree, and then glue his head to his side as if he's got it tucked under his arm. And then I end up having to use a piece of metal I had on hand from a previous project I had done to get this to stand up straight without it falling over backwards or forwards. So I just drilled a small hole, not all the way through that wood, but probably like a quarter way through, stuffed that piece of metal down in there, and then glued that metal to the back of the skeleton. So that way he could stand up without falling over. And for the next one, I left the skeleton head on. I glued its arms together to look like it was holding something. And he's going to be holding 2 pumpkins in his arms and have one glued to the top of his foot. And he'll also be standing on a piece of wood as a base. And I have a metal rod in the back of him as well to glue. I was going to have him sitting, but I changed my mind. And there's the one with the pumpkin head. And then there's the one holding the pumpkins with the pumpkin on his foot. There's a better picture of this at the very end of this video. DIY number 6, I took 3 of these pumpkins that you can get at the Dollar Tree. I sanded all the glitter off the one side and took off the sticker off the back, and also sanded whatever stickiness was left on the back. I gave all 3 of these pumpkins just 1 coat of the Waverly white chalk paint because I'm going to end up covering them. But I did paint the front and back of these pumpkins. I didn't so much worry about these edges or sides of them because I didn't care if they looked a little distressed, because it's Halloween, so nothing's really perfect for Halloween. Gives it a dingier look or whatnot. And then I take 3 different fabrics I had on hand to Mod Podge these in 3 different fabrics. So one is going to be in the orange and black buffalo check scarf I got from Dollar Tree. One is going to be a piece of a bandana I had from the Dollar Tree Halloween section that has like spiders and a spider web on it. And then the other pumpkin is going to get Mod Podged with a black scarf that has like a jack-o'-lantern face and orange on it. And I do the same technique when I do the Mod Podging, so I'll Mod Podge it down in sections and then set it aside to dry. And once those dry, I do go back and put Mod Podge on top of them and trim the sides off with scissors, a box cutter, and also sandpaper, so it takes, has the same shape and form of those pumpkins. And then I'll end up gluing all 3 of them together in a pat. You'll see it looks like a little pumpkin. It's not going to be a topiary because they're not stacked on top of each other. It's like horizontal. And then I'll take one of the word cutouts from the Dollar Tree that says spooky and it has a ghost on the top of it. I'll paint it white. And then I will highlight the word spooky with the metallic orange paint marker. And then I also highlight the ghost with metallic gunmetal gray paint marker. And then I will just accessorize the top of the pumpkins with some of that Halloween floral pick I had pulled the red rose off of. So I think I used like a little bit of the berries, one of the sprigs that's curly, a black leaf, and one of the sprigs that looks like a black branch. So here I go gluing all 3 of these pumpkins together. And I decide where I'm going to line up that spooky once I am done attaching all these. And I'm not, like I said, I just paint this word with white Waverly chalk paint. And there's that one finished. On to DIY number 7. I also had a ceramic sugar skull type owl from the Dollar Tree. And with this one, I also used just my paint markers I had on hand. And I used black, metallic pink, metallic purple, green, blue, and like a really, I want to say it's bronze color, in all different sections of this owl. You'll see the finished product. It's too complicated to go into each section of what I did where in terms of colors. And honestly, if you were to recreate this, I always would encourage anybody to do it how they deem, fit for your guys' own decor. And then once this is all done with the paint markers, I did take the last of that floral pick I had from the Halloween pick, and there was a carnation left on it. So I did glue that to the top of this owl's head. And there she is, all done on my bathroom shelf as well, where that sugar skull is. Last but not least, DIY number 8, I take another one of these pumpkin signs from the Dollar Tree, and I was lazy this day and didn't feel like taking off that burlap piece. So I just cut down this piece of candy corn fabric I got from Mari from Restored Creations, and I am going to Mod Podge it to this pumpkin with a very thick amount of Mod Podge underneath the fabric and on top of it. I did have to let this dry overnight before cutting down all the excess and sanding it all down the next day. I painted this stand with a combination of orange and yellow, just so it would match the colors of the candy corn. And for some decor, I take this wood cutout that says Happy Halloween, also from Dollar Tree, and I painted it to look like a piece of candy corn. So I did the top portion of it white, the center of it orange, and the bottom of it yellow, and I just blended those colors together. And then I will also use one of those wooden cubes glued to the back of this and then glue it to the pumpkin to give that 3D effect like I did with the green pumpkin I did earlier in this video. And there, that one is completed as well. And that's it, you guys. And then here's majority of them on the dresser. So let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks so much for watching. Love you all.